Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs podcast? Welcome to the Chiefs Blitz podcast, brought to you by ChiefsBlitz.com, your top source for Chiefs news. Our podcast is produced by Bowtie Sports and hosted by Dick Happen, Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, Hense Todd, and special contributor, Fox Sports reporter and anchor, Harold Kuntz. Please like and subscribe to our show. Now let's talk Kansas City Chiefs football.
Football.
Welcome to the next edition of the Chiefs Blitz podcast. I'm your host, Dick Happen, with Mr. Lou Montagna and Mr. Hense Todd, the three amigos today as we talk about the do we have like a siren or something that we can play? You know, the Rashee Rice situation takes yet not one.
I got a sign.
The strays are flying, man. I gotta play. Carrington already did it.
Nice. All right, here we are again, guys. And first, before we get started with the Rashee Rice news, I had a question for both of you to answer. So my question is, at this point of the offseason, compared to what we thought this team could be last year at this time, are they better or are they not as good?
I'll let Lou go ahead and answer that question.
I would say, you know, it's a tough one because they've gotten a lot younger. So I think talent-wise, overall, I think it's a cut above, but experience-wise, obviously, you know, there's going to be some growing pains, and maybe there's going to be some games that that's going to come up, right? And we're experiencing it right now because what's an off season without more off-field Rashee Rice news? Because for them to really take the next step, you'd like to see him take the next step. Because again, I don't think in any football world where you can't make a case for him being a top 10 receiver in the NFL. So, but there's always a but with this kid. So, but overall, just to your question, Nick, I think it might be a little bit better, but again, you don't have a fully healthy Patrick.
All right.
You lost some top of the line corners, but you think the replacements can be equally as good in time. You know, obviously those, you know, between Noel Williams, Mansour Delane, I mean, it may take a while for them to kind of get to the level of Cuffs and J Watt.
Right.
So offensively, you would think the running game is going to be better because you've got a bona fide running back that you're probably going to lean on, at least in the first part of the year. So short answer is a little bit more talent, but again, just game experience, not so much.
Okay. Hence?
Yeah, I had to say, you know what I mean, the question is, it's just a big old question mark on this team because you don't know what you're going to get. Like Lou said, they're young. The guys are more younger than Rashee Rice. You don't know what you're going to get in him. And Patrick Mahomes, you don't know what you're going to get in the injury and coming back off an injury. So it's a big question mark. You know what I mean? So if they could be, but they could be worse. They could be worse than they was last year, and they could be picking number one. You know what I mean? You just don't know what you're going to get. But do you see that in a Patrick Mahomes, led team? No. But did you see Patrick Mahomes led team last year being, you know, like they was last year as well? So you just don't know. And then like we thought we would get one offseason without no Rashee Rice news. I had a hope for the kid, but man, just can't stay off the weed. Like what's his name said.
Well, we'll get into the legalities of that here in a couple of minutes.
But also before you do that, they asked have we seen these signs of Ruben? I don't think so. I've seen signs of Ruben since the draft day show. So I hope he's all well. Ruben is one of the big, people to be
If
on.
anybody
the
knows
chat.
the room in the group, definitely reach out to him.
If not day one, shortly thereafter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that said, let's get into some of the Rashee.
Well, wait,
Rice
Nick,
stuff.
what do you think?
Let me give you my. I mean, I think I'm gonna say they're better because I think the coaching staff is better. I think on the offensive side of the ball, they got rid of.
A good point.
They got rid of 3 coaches. They replaced them with 3 dogs, and I mean that in a very positive way. You've got a real wide receiver coach in Chad O'Shea. You've got a real running backs coach at Pinkston, and you got Eric Bieniemy. He's going to light them all up. So I think when you look at that, you look at the offseason, they made a big splash at running back. They made some other really good moves. I thought the draft went exceptional. I thought their undrafted free agent class was probably one of the best they've signed. Now, what does it all mean? In my view, I think this is a better team today than it was at the end of the year, no question. But it's kind of hard to answer my own question because they are young. There's a lot of inexperience. They're going to have to count on the young kids playing well like they did when they began their Super Bowl run of back-to-back Super Bowls by allowing the young kids to go out there and play early and often. So I think talent-wise, it's a better roster. I think it's a better coaching staff. So I'm going to give it a slight edge from a year ago.
Yeah. I mean, for my money, they'll be a much better team in the second half of the year than they certainly will be in the first, just because everything meshing together. Patrick kind of getting used to playing with, a knee that's not so great. And and they just the young guys gaining experience. But yeah, I look for this team to kind of catch its stride, mid-season and then beyond.
Yep.
So let's get into the report. Go ahead, Luke.
All right. So breaking, if you've been living under a stone, Chiefs Rashee Rice violated his probation after testing positive for marijuana. Rice has been ordered to serve 30 days in jail, meaning he'll miss the Chiefs OTAs and mandatory minicamp. I guess the 30 days was part of the sentence, right? And correct. I think just the fact that he's serving it now was because of the positive test. Otherwise, he had kind of a choice of when he chose to serve the 30 days.
Up to 5 years if he didn't if he didn't fail a drug test.
Right. So I think the probation that all stay. I don't think anything has really changed except for the timing of when he was going to go in, and then obviously the second surgery he had on his knee was recent. I don't know. Do the Chiefs get to send a training staff person to go make sure he's doing his exercises? All right. So 1 week before being ordered to serve the 30 days in jail, Rashee underwent a cleanup surgery on his right knee to remove loose debris that was causing inflammation, and now is expected to sideline him for 2 months, league sources told ESPN. So that's what I'm saying. So obviously, I don't think he has the surgery if he knew he was going to have to serve the 30 days imminently. But then it becomes the question is what kind of rehab will they allow him to do while he's incarcerated?
Yeah,
I get it. There's workout facilities and all that stuff, but can he bring a trainer in? Will the Dallas County Sheriff's Department or whoever that governing body, as far as the facility goes, is he going to have like 3 or 4 hours a day that somebody can go visit and actually put him through a workout? So, it's just not good.
Well, I want to clarify a couple of things. It was the violation of his probation. It was THC. It was not quote unquote marijuana. THC can be in multiple forms. The bottom line in Missouri, it's not illegal. It is illegal in the state of Texas.
So and if you're on probation,
there was a very strict understanding and agreement. Nothing, no alcohol, no drugs of any kind, legal, unlegal, whatever it is. he violated the probation. He and the judge ordered him to immediately serve his 30 days, which now he's getting it out of the way. Like Lou said, it's good timing. The rehab's probably going to be relatively limited in the first 30 days of surgery. It was not a serious surgery by any means. It was arthroscopic, and it was just a tune-up. And a lot of guys come back in a couple of months. Now,
but with the benefit,
right? So that's going to put him behind.
Doing the rehab. So does it? I mean, you start to kind of ponder a little bit. Well, if he's not able to do the full rehab right away, well, hell, what are they going to have to do? Another surgery in a couple of months?
No, I just don't think
the rehab then going to extend into training camp. So
yeah, he'll start training camp on the PUP list. Physical and able to perform list, and how long he stays on that, and if they put him on IR, they could keep him on the PUP list to start the season, and they just have to activate him after 6 weeks. So, but he can't practice, he can't do anything in that time frame. So we're getting way too far ahead of the situation. That's just assuming he's going to be on the roster. But I think in this situation, it's just deja vu. And Hense and I were talking about this morning in a very heated conversation, and is the guy going to even be around? I think that's the question. I mean,
did you record it?
No. It was not for air.
You really need to start doing that.
Yeah, we probably should start recording the after show, because that's usually when we have some really great discussions as well. But I mean, the Chiefs have given him every opportunity, and I'm leaning toward they're going to give him another one if he's eligible. He may not get suspended, because the league's going to fight and say, hey, this is a substance that's legal in the NFL now, and that he shouldn't be penalized with a suspension. He's already served enough time. He just spent 30 days in jail. I mean, if the league could say, well, the fact that he had to serve his time now, maybe they give him a 1 or 2 game suspension.
Well, he violated his parole. I mean, I think that's enough.
We don't know what that means.
The league doesn't have to answer. The league doesn't have to answer to anybody. They can just say, you know what, that's another 2 games.
Yeah.
Or whatever they say. But I think for the Chiefs, they're just in a weird position because they've let it get this far. Nothing has really gotten worse per se. Unless, of course, the league comes and says, okay, we're going to suspend you for the first 2 games of the season, which, again, is not ideal. But, again, you've come this far. You didn't give him, at one point, I don't know if they had already paid Dez or whatever in Dallas, where he pretty much had a personal bodyguard, somebody just that lived with him and stayed with him to make sure he kind of stayed in the straight and narrow.
Well, the plan was for him to remain in Kansas City and not go to Dallas. Period.
Yeah, well, I had said something.
Well, he was in New Orleans, so
wherever he was. I don't think that's it. I think it's just it's. And again, well, you're talking about semantics as far as this state says this. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's what his probation was. He just the decisions that he makes definitely are questionable at best, right? So was it, the questions come to mind is who was in charge of kind of vetting in the vetting process prior to the draft? Not so much who, but what was that report? Was there anything close to this in those reports? I'm thinking no, because I don't think they would have taken him in the second round if that was the case. So this is all changed. Now, he's not under a huge contract. They don't owe him a ton of money.
Yeah,
this would be so much. This would be so much different. This would be so much different if he was like a 40 million APY that under normal circumstances he'd probably be looking for, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if it was just injuries and not all this other BS, that he'd be looking. So that makes it a little bit more palatable for the Chiefs. So it's like, we're gonna continue to play this out. Now, this is all my opinion, of course. Right. We're gonna let this play out, and when he's available, if he's working hard when he's in the facility, that's fine. He would have to agree to that, I would think, if they had to give him like a babysitter or something. I don't know how that would work, but he's at some point the lights got to come on, because again, he's got to be looking at some of the classmates from his draft.
And then it's a contract. It's a contract year.
Well, no, I'm saying some of them have already gotten paid huge money,
right?
And some of them are going to get paid. And he's looking at that saying, well, I probably kissed that goodbye as far as this team is concerned, and perhaps other teams too, because they don't want to be dealing with this crap after they've given all this money. So it's going to be a very curious summer for sure.
Let's hear what CDOT had to say on 90 said. Is it 96?
Oh, 96.5. Yeah.
I think he might have been a little more harsh, but I didn't watch it. So
that's it.
Nathan, hit the music, please. Roll another blunt.
Also, he did a rap.
I was gonna go to mini camp, but I was high. I was gonna get 1,000 yards, but I got high. Blood. How is he always in the news? All we wanted from Rashee Rice was to stay off TMZ. All we wanted for Rashee Rice was to walk the straight and narrow. I knew nothing good was going to come from. Last week, he was in New Orleans, and he posted a picture on Bourbon Street. I knew no good was going to come of it. I knew it was a terrible idea. But you got to let people live their lives. You're free. You're 20-something. You're a millionaire. You're entitled to go to Bourbon Street. I should have known. Nathan, hit the music, please.
But yeah, like you said, man, like he's young, and you wonder, like, okay, marijuana is legalized and everything else, and all this nonsense, but
not for him
though, right? Because you on probation.
Yeah.
You on probation. You can't keep coming out here and doing the same stuff over and over again. And then Patrick Mahomes, like, okay, I'm about to rehab. I'm about to have a number one wide receiver. And then you go do another thing to put yourself way back on the back burner. Then, like you said, the surgery, right? The surgery is there too. He just had just said put a sideline on him for 2 months. And now you are here serving 30 days in jail. You think they're gonna say, oh, we're going to keep giving you passes after passes? At some point, the league is going to make a prime example out of you, right?
They've already done it. They've already done it.
Yeah.
How? I'm saying, did you lucky you got blessed by not, in that speeding down a highway, didn't killing people. You didn't kill nobody, so that was a blessing.
That was lucky. Yeah.
You lucky you got out of that. And then the girlfriend situation that the league just had that for like a couple of weeks ago. They let that go and said we ain't gonna let this. And now this, how many times Roger Goodell and them can let you keep slapping them in the face and say, you know what, you ain't letting this happen. And you know what he gonna say?
And I know why, man, yeah, because I got high, because I got high, because I got high. La, la, la.
He's just sitting on his couch, eating some chips, blowing some smoke rings, and now he's in jail. So there's a lesson there.
It's a lesson. It's got to be a lesson there, man. Looking at that, man. Do the Chiefs go like we seen earlier today, the rumors out there? Do they go try to push for AJ Brown? Go ahead, Luke.
All right, so bring AJ to the kingdom. Now, again, even a few weeks ago, they were mentioned as perhaps a team that checked in, and that's Brett just doing his due diligence. But could the Chiefs steal AJ Brown? Massive wrinkle in the wide receiver market, per Albert Breer reports that with the ongoing uncertainty surrounding Rashee Rice, 30 days in jail/probation violation, the Chiefs could circle back and inquire with the Eagles about a blockbuster trade for AJ Brown. Does Brett Veach need to pull the trigger? That's a big one, because whatever money that they were thinking they might be paying Rashee Rice, they'll be paying AJ Brown probably a little bit more.
Right.
He's much older. but obviously much more accomplished. I don't, to my knowledge, has never really been in trouble with the law or has ever even been mentioned in any sort of compromising situations. No. And reportedly, again, it's all, conjecture here, that the deal with the Patriots is pretty much done, but they were talking about perhaps a 28 first round pick, right? Because everybody covets the 27 draft and the high picks in that draft. So I don't know, if they look at it and say, well, the Chiefs are a little bit more in a state of flux, maybe that pick would be better in terms of what Howie's thinking. Or does he want to say, screw it, I want him out of the conference. I'll take my chances because the Chiefs are probably going to be in the mid-20s, and maybe New England's right there too. But then again, New England's got a killer schedule. They kind of got on a roll last year. Maybe that pick, maybe they're going to lose a ton of games. So right. Yeah, but again, you're projecting out another year, so that for a 28 pick. If you're the Chiefs and you were already budgeting a decent amount of money for a receiver, which they haven't shown the proclivity to do, right? But if that's the way you're thinking, you certainly want to, make the call and see, what Howie's looking for.
Right. Well, here's the breakdown financially. In 2026, he's guaranteed $29 million. If he is traded post June 1, let me switch the details here. If he is traded post June 1st, he still has $29 million guarantee this year. Now, of that $29 million, $10,637,000 is going to be paid by the Eagles for the signing bonus. So it doesn't count on the Chiefs books. There is a prorated bonus of $11.2 million. Now, the $11.2 million is spread out over 5 years for each year that he is under contract with the Chiefs. And this is an Eagles special. It's got 5 voided years, so they can break this thing down should they have keep him to the age of 32. So in essence, the Chiefs have roughly on the hook for this year with AJ probably about $12 million, somewhere in there. But they don't have $12 million as we speak right now. That's the problem. The contract does change a little bit in the years ahead, but that prorated bonus increases. So for every $10 million, the Chiefs can take 20% of that and apply it over 5 years. So 20% year 1, 20% year 2. It still counts as dead money if he's not there. So it's a very complex contract. We don't know if AJ Brown would be willing to change it. Chiefs don't like voided years. In fact, the only time I can remember them doing it is recently with Travis Kelce.
Well, if history has taught us anything, if history has taught us anything, they can work it out. They can certainly
and they got it, and their agent is good.
If they want to. Obviously that's the big thing is do they want to do it for a guy that's approaching 30 years old and he does have a bunch of money left on this particular deal. Now, I would imagine, how far into his new deal is he? He's probably 2-3 years.
This is the second year of the 5-year, $100 million deal.
All right. So the Chiefs would have another 3-4 years on that deal.
And it has the voided years if the Chiefs assume the contract. The good news is, $10.6 million signing bonus this year, 5.9. It was a 4-year, $100 million. 5.9 in 27 and 3.9 in 28. That's all courtesy of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. So they got away cheap, actually. The Eagles.
Well, the guaranteed money is significant this year, and that's what's going to make the Chiefs decide. Well, am I going to give up a first round pick for a guy that?
And then on top of that, he's probably going to want a new deal.
He's 29 years old.
Because the market has nearly doubled since he signed that deal. Go ahead.
I said I'm giving that. I'm trading. I sent a first and a third and Bashar Smith too to the Eagles. I'm sending. Hey, give me AJ Brown. That size. If the Chiefs want to run the ball more. They got it. He's a run blocking wide receiver.
Not
then
by choice.
Not by choice. I'm just saying.
I think it's well documented. You want to see him reading on the sideline some more. Let's run the ball. Let's run the ball all day.
We never seen Patrick Mahomes with a Debo type of wide receiver, right?
No,
Dwayne Bowe. We never seen that. Now you get AJ Brown in here. He's a Debo type of wide receiver, the body size and everything else. You bring that in here with Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy. You know what I mean? This could be a heck of a game. If I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm looking at Rashee Rice and like, look, man, we gave you all these chances. Right. You want to come out here and be the Hamburglar and keep going to jail, keep doing this and everything else. We gave you so many chances. So this money what we was going to give you, we're going to give to AJ Brown. If you guys going to get back in and looking at Rashee Rice, he only played what 20 games in his career. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe I looked at it.
One of the investors are going to have to put that one together. I don't know.
How many games did he play, John? I don't know John out there in the chat, but how many games he played since he's been with the Kansas City Chiefs? You know what I mean?
I think his rookie year he was healthy the whole time.
Yeah, he played his entire rookie year. I think
17 plus playoffs. And then his second year, what did he play? He got hurt.
4 games,
like fourth, fifth game in. Last year, how many was he?
8 games, 6 games, maybe 6 games.
So he played another 6.
So 26 to 28 games.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm first round next year, a second a year, the prior year, then you rework his contract. You know what I mean? He's still young. He's still
he's 29. Okay, let's. He's not young. He's 29.
He's still young.
He's a Drew Rosenhaus.
He's younger than you. He's younger than you, Nick.
Okay, a lot of people are younger than.
Well, we got to say he's still. I would think he's still in his prime. I would imagine.
Yeah, he's still in his prime.
I think he would be good for at least another 3 seasons if they wanted to go that route, right? If you're going to give up a first round pick, then that tells me that this isn't just like a 1-year rental, right? So if they do that, then they're going to want to extend him the whole thing and lower the cap number for this year, rework whatever they have to do to make it work.
They would have to probably redo the contract to a point, but they also need to be aware of what the Eagles' responsibility is here. So there's a lot of this is a complicated trade as far as the compensation goes. I mean, I personally wouldn't give up a 1, but I can see Brent Veach has done that in the past. He did it with Frank Clark, and say what you want about Frank Clark, but he was a postseason magician, and nearly set the record for sacks in the postseason.
I think they just put it in there how many games he played.
28
games. So
thanks, Dats Major.
I think for me, the complexity of the trade probably is not going to be that difficult. And working with Drew Rosenhaus, it's not going to be that difficult either, because he's got a lot of clients on the Chiefs, and he and Brett Veach have a good working relationship. And they're also talking about bringing Tyreek Hill back, which is his client too. So that bodes the other question. Tyreek Hill has been in Kansas City working out. It's my understanding he's probably been to the facilities. A free agent, he can go wherever he wants. And I think it's very likely that he gets, if he's medically cleared by Rick Burkhalter, he could be a Chief in June, for certain. But if they have AJ Brown, then this is my problem. If they trade for Brown, and let's say they still bring Hill back and they just cut ties with Rice, I'm totally fine with that. Just cut ties with him, cut him. It's not gonna burn you financially. It's really not that big a deal. Then what happens to Cyrus Gray? What happens to the development of Worthy? What happens to the development of Royals? What happens to Thornton? Can they find enough fits to get these guys on the field? And if Hill's a 1-year rental, and let's say Brown's a 2-year rental, then by that point, Xavier Worthy is going to be up for a contract. So there's a whole lot of things to think about. And I'm going to put this in my column on Friday. The Chiefs are either rebuilding or reloading, or it's a combination of the two. And I think it's the combination of the two at the moment. So for me, there's a lot of question marks. I think the Chiefs are very frustrated with Rice. I think they're done with Rice. me personally. No one is telling me that. I just think enough. What's going to happen next? I think they always felt with Rice that the shoe was going to drop, and he was in New Orleans with Cyrus Gray. So I don't want those two fields.
Well, whether he was in New Orleans or whatever. Now, I would think part of his probation is I would imagine he has to alert them to when he takes these trips. I don't know those details. That might be part of it. Even if it wasn't, I mean, I don't think the where even matters. I think he just hasn't made good decisions.
It was a zero tolerance.
Right.
Nothing was he could not.
So here's the thing: as far as the Chiefs are concerned, and the other guys, everybody's going to have their opportunities to show whatever. They're all. I mean, as long as Patrick is healthy. They're going to want to give him, the best weapons they possibly can. Now, again, have they done that since Tyreek left? Not so much. They really haven't.
They haven't. They've piecemealed it.
So I think Patrick might have a lot of say in this.
Do you think this time he'll be like, look, I gave Rashee Rice the bring him back, all this. I felt bad for injuring his knee. Now the rumors out there with AJ Brown. Do you think Patrick Mahomes say, look, y'all say y'all was going to give me a guy, go get this guy for me?
I don't think it's mutually exclusive. I think, if they make the trade for AJ Brown, again, you've come this far with Rashee Rice. I think they just keep going the way they are unless they just add some other guardrails for the kid and whatever. But other than that, you got really nothing to lose at this point. If he like screws up his probation again, he goes to jail, then the decision's been made for you. That's it.
Well, maybe they trade Rice to the Eagles for Brown in a later pick.
Yeah, they're not doing. No, Howie's not doing that. They will. I mean, I think if the reports are true. Now, again, I don't know if they're reports, rumors, or whatever. But if they have the Patriots are offering a first in 28. That's kind of the benchmark. I mean, I don't think Howie's going to say, well, I'll trade him to the Chiefs. Brett's my buddy. No, he's going to do what's best for his team and do his job. So they're not going to take on the Chiefs' problems just to help them out.
Yeah,
in my estimation. But as far as are they rebuilding, reloading? It's not so much a rebuild. I think it's more of a retooling, and just that class that they drafted. That they're pretty much all gone now, outside of like George.
That's it.
They got what they got, and now they're hoping this class kind of replaces those dudes.
Ken Sinclair have a question for you guys.
Did Rice have issues in college? Kenny, I will say this: there were some things, but it wasn't to the Chiefs and the other teams in the NFL all that alarming. So nothing along this line. I think the thing that hurt Rashee Rice the most was playing so well his rookie year, getting a Super Bowl, he was a significant factor to the Chiefs winning that Super Bowl. In fact, if he didn't have the postseason and the play down the stretch,
great playoff run.
Chiefs don't win that. The Chiefs don't even get to the big game. He made so many plays in the playoff game with Miami and with Buffalo, and not so much with Baltimore, but made some big plays in the Super Bowl against the 49ers.
What if the league step in and do suspend him? What if the league say, you know what? We gave you the chance this year. Yeah. We gave you the chance. We can talk to you, and then we can
fight it. I think the union's going to fight any kind of lengthy suspension.
But even if they did, and they come up short, and he misses another 2 games again, I don't know that it really changes anything for the Chiefs at this point. And the biggest part of it is that he's on the last year of a second-round rookie deal, so it's not like he's making a ton of money.
Yeah, $1.4 million.
So that's the I guess the business part of this, that this isn't college. We're not here trying to teach him a lesson. Hopefully he learns a lesson as an adult that, okay, it's time to grow up now. I can't do this dumb crap and maintain a career. It's just not going to work.
But the thing is,
from the Chiefs' perspective, unless it becomes a huge distraction and Patrick says, okay, that's it, Yeah, I don't want him. I don't want him. On
Yeah, if Patrick says that, he's gone. Period. I think John makes a great point. If bringing EB back and having new coaches to preach accountability, Rice and keeping him around sets a bad example. So
it does.
I don't disagree with that, John.
Well, it depends on what EB says too. Now, what if okay, we're gonna bring you back, we're gonna allow you to play, but these are our parameters. Yes, you're on parole, you have those, but now here are the team parameters for you to continue, with this team, and it doesn't have to be anything.
They should have had all those. They probably had some.
Maybe they do, Nick. That's just it. We don't know. We don't know. It just looks bad on them because it looks like they just like kind of left him out there, twisting to his own devices, and evidently that's a pretty risky proposition with him.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's why when I seen he went, he violated his probation, I'm like, I thought they brought EB here to the lay the hammer down. What's going on? Is EB sleep? Is his phone is off? If you see the man in Bourbon over there in New Orleans, at Mardi Gras and all whatever he was at, I'm calling the kid up. Hey man, it's time you get back home. But the thing is, then you got, like you said, you got the
Des Bryant treatment, man.
Right, you got the young kids, that's on the team that you supposed to be the leader of the wide receiver room. You got Xavier Worthy, you got all these, the kid they just drafted, they falling behind you as well. We don't want to see the domino effect, right? We don't want to see the domino effect. So
the advantage of that is they really haven't been around him yet. I guess outside of Cyrus Allen, I'm not quite sure how that worked out, but hey, whatever.
That's a Cyrus Graham and Cyrus Allen.
Yeah. So, it's just. He isn't that though. He isn't a leader in that room, and I don't know that that's his personality to be the leader in the room. You'd like him to be that. They really don't have anybody in that role, and that's why you thought maybe they would bring in a veteran just that was good enough to be somewhat productive, but most importantly, work with the younger dudes.
Right.
And I'm not sure playing over the border is going to help Rashee Rice.
He's got to learn how to speak Canadian.
Yeah.
So as we sit here today on a Wednesday, before OTA start or all that start, do you see him week one being on the Chiefs? Do you see Rashee Rice week one being a member of the Kansas City Chiefs?
I don't think there's any doubt, unless there's some other incident that comes up between now and then. But if this is it, I don't think so, because again, I mean, THC it's a violation of his parole, but it wasn't like he broke some kind of law or put a bunch of people in danger like the racing did. Right. And as far as him serving the thing now, I'm sure he's gonna get fined for missing like mandatory mini camp now, right?
Yeah.
So he needs the money.
It's $25,000 a day. So
he needs the money. You look at just what he signed for and all this stuff that he's had.
Plus, he's gonna miss the wedding.
And that's probably what he's really worried.
Was he the best? Was he the best man at the wedding? Maybe he was the best man. Now they 1 man short.
No, we're not sure. We're not 100% sure when the wedding is. There's a rumor.
But the thing is, man, like you
think he outranked Jason for best man?
No.
You had one groomsman. I would to say.
Yeah.
But looking at that, man, I don't think I like the kid. He's one of my golden jacket kids. I don't think he'd be here week one. I don't think he'd be here.
You still have the gall to call him a golden jacket kid.
I say he's one of. He
got a big old stain on the jacket. That's
go to jail and you'll get cut. But we'll let you keep that golden jacket because I gave it to you. Come on, man.
I just hate when I see the players have all this talent and then get this opportunity to change their family lives and go out here and change their lives themselves. And they come out here and they make these mistakes, these bonehead mistakes, flying down the hallway, no concern for other family members, other people's families' lives. Then you go out here, you got your stuff with your kid's mom, and then you lucky they let that slide by. And now this, it's like if I'm Clark Hunt, I'm like, look here, man. I gave you multiple your chances. I gave you multiple resources. I gave you all the resources. I see you praying with the team chapel and all this nonsense, and you still go out here and make a fool of our family's name, our family's team's name, the Kansas City Chiefs. How many times I got to see the Kansas City Chiefs not on no good news, on bad news across ESPN, Yahoo Sports, TMZ, all these things. So with that said, I know that Clark Hunt probably looking at it like, okay, we kind of probably made our mistake or made it push the guns with Kareem.
I mean, all that
but
stuff
now
all
that
stuff makes sense. But if that was the case, then by that logic, you cut ties before.
Yeah, I think
this to me is quite honestly isn't that big of a deal based on where we are with this kid. So it's just another poor decision. That no question. The 30 days he was going to have to serve at some point
in the next 4 years.
Now, again, I'm not trying to justify his behavior, but in terms just looking at it from a team perspective,
Cardell Paul was about go check.
If you're going to go this far down the road, right, and maybe bend some of your values or whatever and let him continue, you just play it out now, play it out through the summer, see where it goes, and then I think the decision will be made for itself.
Here's what I think. I'm kind of leaning more toward Lou for this for just this one reason. What the Chiefs don't want to do is cut him, and he goes to the Bills, or he goes to the Ravens, or he goes to the Bengals, or he goes to a team that he somehow gets his act together, plays well, and plays a significant role. I think personally, he's going to go on the PUP list, and they're going to stash him. And that way that'll bring his value down for any kind of potential or free agent contract, because nobody's going to pay him the kind of money that he thinks he's going to get. It's just not going to happen because he hasn't been great in the NFL since he was drafted in 2023. So he's got no chance to get any kind of big time money. He'll be lucky to get a 1 year, $7 million deal and a prove it deal to show that he can stay clean and out of trouble for a year. So, I think the Chiefs would have a fear
I think in Dallas he has a private shower, Kareem. So no worries there.
Don't want to know. Not in my pay scale for that conversation right there. I think they're probably going to leave him on the roster, but if they add Tyreek Hill. And if Caldwell plays really well in the OTAs, mini camps, and training camps, and in preseason games, then they're going to have to decide now or future.
They'll be.
They can always put him on the PUP list.
To
drag this out.
I think Eric Bieniemy going to make a if he was brought here to lay the hammer down. I think this is his prime example. Like, all right, kid, we got you a chance.
I don't think
you got to go.
I don't think there's any question. Hence, the example is when he shows up. And perhaps what his practice is going to look like versus maybe what the rest of the guys' practice looks like. I see a lot of, again, if the knee is healthy and he's able, 100% able to go, because they don't want to, re-injure, that would be stupid. But I think he's going to be doing a lot of extra stuff, right? Extra reps, a little bit more running, and just to kind of say, hey, man, you got to earn your way back. But that's the other piece of it too, is if these younger guys step up, now you can say, you can be a little bit more aggressive in terms of how you treat him moving forward, and just say, you know what, this kid's really stepping up. We see him, by mid-season kind of having that same rookie year that Rashee had, whether it's Caldwell or Allen or whoever they bring in, even a vet, Tyreek by the second half of the year. All of a sudden it's like, hey, he's still got that 22 or 23 mile an hour GPS going. We're good. And then you can just say, all right, we're done with this. But I think at this point, they just, again, this is just me, let it play out and see what happens over the summer. And then, hey, when it's cut down day, that might be one of the surprise cuts.
Could be.
Let's see what Stephen A. Smith had to say to Rashee Rice.
Oh,
Just
boy.
say, do it again. Please.
Stay off the weed.
Duh.
Off the weed. And you can't stay off the weed.
He got it. Hey man, hey, if I had the opportunity to have the athletic ability that some of these players be having, you know what I mean? They grew up the knowledge to have, then to get that large of a paycheck to change your generation's life, and just to play around with the house's money like that, it's crazy to me. Like I think for me, I like Rashee Rice. He's one of my favorite players. I even got his signed him in over here, but I don't see him on week 1 on the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Kansas City Chiefs
Could be.
You know what I mean? I think this is going to be like, okay, he's got to go. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's time to go. We gave you all these chances, and then plus now when you know looking at this draft, we're gonna go back and look at it like, you was sitting there at 6, you know, you sitting there at number 9.
Here we go.
I'm just saying. I understand.
Too. I hear you.
I'm not bringing about John Dorsey. I'm just saying, like, you're gonna sit there and then you're gonna like, dang, we could have took a receiver, you know what I mean, or we could have took this or took that, and that's what some Chiefs fans out there throwing out there. But
yeah, they took the right player.
But I really do think the Chiefs was gonna take Denzel Boston in the second round. That's why the Cleveland Browns jumped in front of him. Yeah. Because they probably knew that, you know, this is going to
have your boy from Oklahoma.
I understand that part, but I'm just saying, like,
been upset.
But
he'd have been a Buffalo Bill, and he'd put a 20
But again, man, Rashee Rice got to get it together, because you got all these young guys coming in here looking up to you, and then you got not just these young guys, you got your boys, your young sons. I know he got sons, so you got sons that's looking up to you as well. So it's time to grow up, young man. It's time to grow up, tie the shoes up, get to work, let this be a lesson learned, you know what I mean? Because it could have been worse. People could have been dead. You could have been facing murder charges in that but that race thing you was doing.
Yeah.
So,
unfortunately, no matter how much vetting you do prior to the draft, you know, until, you know, you get them. I mean, he was kind of maybe like pre NIL or maybe whatever he got, you know, whether it was at SMU, wasn't a ton of money, where you hear guys like Jeremiah Love saying, well, you know, hey, I got plenty of money, you know, in college, whatever I get in the NFL, I'm just going to invest that. I'm not touching it. Right? So it's a much different, you know, mindset, where he was like, all of a sudden, I don't know what his background is, but, you know, he probably didn't have a ton of money. Now, all of a sudden, you know, again, for him, that was a lot of money.
Yeah. You think, Sam, they'll learn, but
it can change. You don't know at that age, and whatever, you feel invincible. You could do whatever you want. You know, a lot of bad decisions are made. Now, his are public because, you know, he's an NFL player, but I know some kids around the same age, and, you know, I'm not going to say one was in my household, but there was some issues, right? And, you know, fortunately, over the last few years, he's done a 180 and is like this exemplary kid all of a sudden.
Right.
So I get it. You know, they just, no matter what guardrails you put in, if they get into a situation where it has to be made, a lot of times it's the path of least resistance, and it normally is not a good one. And I think, unfortunately, I think that's what Rashee.
Hold on, Nick. I know somebody said about I would like that. You know what I mean, for the Carolina Panthers. I would like him on the NC.
I don't think they're gonna.
Isn't he like a roadkill connoisseur?
Yeah, I think
he is. I think he is. He eats like raccoon and stuff. Yeah,
I'll take that, Trey. Go ahead. Nick,
okay, so just assuming the Chiefs go veteran. I think the top 6 wide receivers. Tyreek Hill, we've talked about him. Chance of being a Chief, I still think, are far greater. Stephon Diggs, reportedly he wants $10 million. I'm not sure the Chiefs will pay that. Deebo Samuel, you know, he's 30. These are all guys plus 30.
I'll take Deebo Samuel.
Deebo is a certain fit. I think Eric Bieniemy would be would be able to make something out of him. You got Curtis Samuel. You got DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to be 34 this year.
No.
And then you got Keenan Allen, who I love Keenan. I think he is a outstanding receiver, great veteran, be a terrific leader. I'm kind of shocked the Chargers didn't bring back. The youngest guy available is Jahan Dotson, the wide receiver from Philadelphia. 26 years old, going to be 26 the entire season. You know, he could be. You got Juju's out there, Tyler Lockett's out there.
Come on, don't say their name. That's like saying don't say Juju. Don't you bring him? If you bring him on the team, I'm gonna make me the image I made for Lou when he threw the.
I think Juju's going to be a fallback if they have injuries, just because he knows the offense.
I think they decide. Again, just from the team perspective, I think the only veteran I think they might even only consider would be Tyreek. And that's just because his familiarity with Patrick, with Travis. I mean, he would just. I mean, obviously, they're all pretty tight still, in my opinion. I think he would be welcome back.
And again, that's more Tyreek of old.
That's more of a health thing, right?
He doesn't have to be that guy from. You know, he doesn't have to be the cheetah.
Well, again, they would have to see. That's really what separated him, though. Nick was just that burst, that just like suddenness that was unique, and I think still is in the league. We'll see, you know, how bad the injury was and how quickly he can get back to that. But as far as the older guys go, I just don't see it.
Maybe they got it on the roster. Maybe Royals is that guy. Maybe Royals is that guy that's going to.
He was going to be the Rice replacement, so now I guess we'll find out.
Yet to be seen. Obviously, we don't know any of that. Clue. That's why I say I think they're just going to let this play out over the summer. See if any of these guys step up. Do they have anything? Is Caldwell actually a thing, or is he just a freak athlete that's not?
I think he's terrific.
That may or may not be a great receiver. I think Allen, is a very good receiver. He's just smaller and he's more like what Chiefs. So I think he's like in direct competition with Xavier to be like, who's going to be that receiver in this offense.
Yeah, I agree.
I say give up the first round pick, go get AJ Brown, get him a true X receiver, get Patrick Mahomes a true X receiver. AJ Brown ain't what he read a book on the sideline. What other trouble did he get into? He just got married.
No, it's not trouble. I think that might be unique to just his team and just the fact that he was kind of close with Jalen, and then I think something went wrong in that relationship, and they're not as close. I don't think.
Yeah.
So I think he's just ready to get out of there. So whether the Chiefs go ahead and do it, they're going to have to. It's a huge decision to make because it changes what they've done to this point. They've had opportunities to draft receivers like that, and they've kind of passed those by. We thought this might be the year it would be different. They were going to take one of these bigger X-type receivers, but it seemed like they had other ideas in mind as far as how they were going to build this thing out, more so defensive players, and then they'd figure it out on offense. So,
right. I want to read the quote from Albert Breer because that's kind of how this all started. Here's the actual quote that set off the Twitterverse today. Do they circle back and maybe look at the idea of trading for AJ Brown? I'm not sure. I don't think that happens. But if you're the Chiefs, you have to look at all these things going forward because Rice is unreliable. Now,
if he's available, sure.
Also is the Chiefs are on AJ Brown's list. So those are the teams. They are one of the teams that he would like to be traded to. So that's a hurdle. And again, this is all going to boil down to Brett Veach and Drew Rosenhaus. I think Howie will play whatever it takes to get rid of him because they clearly don't want him. And his relationship with the starting quarterback is crap.
Yeah, they drafted Mekhi Lemon.
Yeah.
In another universe, Devontae Smith is the number one receiver on that team.
I agree.
And now all of a sudden he probably is. So, yeah, all signs point towards it. So I don't think there's any question he's moving. It's just that this whole thing with he and the connection with Vrabel is Is that really where he wants to be? Does he want to go play with a younger quarterback,
right?
Or and his old coach, or does he want to go and play with Patrick? You would think that would be an easier decision, but maybe there's a better opportunity. And if he goes to New England, he's automatically target number 1, target number 2, potentially target number 3.
Which you said, what about George Pickens? Do the Chiefs go out there and say, hey, let's go get somebody young? I mean, we send them,
Well, he's not available.
Everybody's available right now.
Everybody's available.
Well, I guess my thing, if Dallas can have him play at $27 million this year,
right?
Why the hell would they trade him?
Yeah.
Right. So, and again, you'd probably he would command maybe a first and a third at least in their minds. And that's the only way they would take it. Hey, they can, unless the numbers change significantly, they could franchise him again next year. And I think it would only cost them about $35 million or 36, which again is still, for what the market is, a bargain. So that might be a good one, but was he just he kind of kept himself in check because he knew he was going to get a payday this year, or was going to be eligible for a payday this year? Was Mike Tomlin really that? He didn't have a good quarterback in Pittsburgh. So we can kind of talk about that another day, but Pickens certainly has the abilities that they would love.
Yeah.
Hey, John's still in the chat. Or Nick? What did the Chiefs have to do to make? Because I know they don't got no cap space to trade or try to sign a veteran, or even trying to sign a
The only move they can make is Chris Jones. It's the only. That would mean that they're going to extend. That means Chris Jones is going to play 2 years instead of 1. I honestly believe this is Chris Jones's last year. That's the Chiefs' perspective, but he's the only contract they can move. So if they do that, they'll have plenty of cap space. So that means they're committing to him in 2027. And I think that they like Woods, and they see him as the heir apparent. And how much more can that knee take for Chris Jones? And it appears they have some help on the defensive line now. I think they're going to be better. They're going to have more of a rotation.
I said, what about Kadarius Toney?
There you go. There's one in the crowd. Well done.
He's retired from football.
I thought Kadarius Toney was going to be good, man. He's
a young joker, baby. He's in the studio.
Yeah, joker.
You just wait till that album comes out.
He needs a lot of help in this. He needs as much help in the studio as he does playing football.
Wait till that album comes out, Nick. Come on now.
No.
They said what'd you say? Marvin Harris Jr. was out of Arizona.
That was one of the rumors during the draft. The Chiefs were interested in Harrison Jr. But again, I'd rather give up a number 1 pick for him I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Right, because he's on a rookie deal, and again, a pretty high one because he was a 4th pick overall. So I mean, it's pretty significant money. But at this point, if you're a brand new coach going in there, and all of a sudden you're dealing away one of your, young stars, that wouldn't make me feel too good.
Yeah, let me look at. You guys keep talking. Let me look at his contract.
But Kadarius Toney, man, I thought he was back on Kadarius Toney. I thought he was going to be. When he got traded over here, the adjustment of the gloves, catching the ball out of midair. He had all the skill build.
There's a ton of talented dudes on the planet, right? I mean, there's guys like in the playgrounds. I would imagine some of the bigger cities in the world that it would be great NBA players or pro basketball players, but for one reason or another, the discipline's not there. The being a team player isn't there. So there's a lot more to it than just having talent. Well, that's what I think Rashee is starting to learn the hard way.
Yeah, the contract for Marvin Harrison Jr. is actually pretty good.
Well, it's not a rookie deal, but still,
the 2026. Basically, it's 2 more years. So 2026, you're looking at about $4.5 million the Chiefs would have to pay, and about $6 million in 2027. So it's not a lot of money because of the
unless then if you go for the then there's the 5th-year option, which escalates a little bit, or you let them play it out.
Yeah, they would have to. That would give them
the money. I don't think it is the issue.
That's where I'd go. That's the deal I would make.
Well, yeah, but that's what are the Cardinals going to? Cardinals are going to want something significant in return, something in kind. So you're talking like a Chiefs first-round pick, which you would hope, knock on wood,
problem with that,
is well into the 20s, right? But there's like, I don't know, 5, 6, 8 really good receivers coming out of every draft. And next year, I think there's a handful that could be like all-timers. So that's I think that's what a lot of teams are looking at. I don't know that Marvin walks in right away and elevates this thing. He's really looking to really kind of get his career going.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, but if they do got to make a move, I'm okay with them extending Chris Jones. Moving that contract around. But if I'll be all over AJ Brown or somebody, a big body X. I'll like Tyreek Hill back too, but AJ Brown give you that true Dwayne Bowe.
Tyreek's the cheapest option. Tyreek's the cheapest option.
But you never had that total Dwayne Bowe type of wide receiver with Patrick Mahomes, and I would love to see that kind of.
Well, maybe they think it's going to be Caldwell. Maybe he's the 6'4" guy that arrives out of the shadows of the undrafted free agency.
And statements or comments like that is why everybody keeps evoking the name Justin Ross.
Yeah,
waiting for this holy grail.
But honestly, you have to admit that Caldwell's got a better resume in college than.
No, Justin had his freshman year was like
that was 1 year,
right? But Caldwell hasn't even had that. He played his first 3 years at like a Division II or III school. Played 1 year at Cincinnati. The numbers weren't great. He's just an athletic freak.
Yeah,
jumps really high, runs really fast, 6'5", over 200 pounds. He's like out of central casting. Here is what your ex receiver should look like. Right. Let's see if they can, if Chad O'Shea and whoever else is working with these guys can get him to elevate his game at least enough to make the 53.
Right.
Somebody said
Adam Schefter just tweeted that he thinks Tyreek Hill will be back midseason.
For the who? The Chiefs?
Any just be ready to play again would probably be
that's mid-season. They need somebody now, Lou.
They do.
They need somebody now, Lou and Nick. They don't need nobody in there.
And I know why, man. Yeah, because I got high. Because I got high.
He could have done more. He could have done worse. Come on, smoking a little weed. It's
ain't no wrong with it.
It's legal.
And I know it ain't no wrong with it, but when you on probation,
maybe just chewed some gummies. Well, evidently, the THC stays in your system for a long time. So,
yes, it does. Yeah. It takes a while to wash out.
Yeah. So,
I wouldn't know. So
I don't know. But with that said, man, we want to thank everybody for joining in, man. Thank you all you guys for in the chat, man. Also, if you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button. We want to thank you guys for joining in as well. But again, me personally, I don't think Rashee Rice be on this team. Nick and Lou said they think he will. But if in the chat, if you don't think Rashee Rice is going to be on the team, put no hashtag forward. No hashtag forward. No. I'm just there. So with that said, guys, we'll see you guys.
Go to the socials and do it as well.
Do it.
Twitter, IG, TikTok, whatever else. Snappy face.
He's a snappy face. We'll see y'all. On Friday, guys. Have a good Wednesday.
Loyal to the team, every victory we slay. Chiefs Blitz podcast where the real fans unite. Every touchdown score, reignite the night. From tailgate chatter to post game debate, we love our Chiefs. Yeah, it's never too late.